Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today, we're going to talk about you can do anything. And I'm going to share with you some experiences that will motivate you to realize that whatever dreams you have, I believe we can be taught to do anything. I also want to share some of my experiences. I, like everybody else, grew up wanting to try this or try that or do this or do that or be this or be that. But I didn't have the formal training, nor was I motivated by anyone to get the formal training. So I would do things anyway. My first adventure was I wanted to horseback ride. So without having any lessons, I went directly and rented a horse for an hour or whatever it was. And actually, instead of enjoying it, it was really a very scary experience. In fact, I continued to do it. I don't know why I continued to do it, but I would even lean over on the horse so I'd be closer to the ground. So that was my first experience of not having the proper training, but doing it anyway. And I want to say, I realize now that when you train yourself to do something, you enjoy it so much more. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more in detail right now. The second venture that I went on was snow skiing. I would go snow skiing. I would ride the chairlift to the top of the mountain. I would even come down the mountain. But I would be scared the whole time because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to turn, I knew how to slow myself down, but I didn't really properly know how to do it. And so I realize now, if I had just taken time to take some lessons, the whole experience would have been so much nicer. Because I see people take a lesson and they enjoy themselves. But if you don't know what you're doing, the whole process is choppy and scary. I mean, you might enjoy what you're doing, but if you're not doing it right, there is an element when you're doing something like snow skiing and you don't really have a handle 100% on what you're doing, it can be a bit intimidating. So in hindsight, I question, why didn't I take a few hours of one day and learn how to do it? And it would have made the whole experience so much nicer. After that, there was acting. And I live in what was considered a small town at the time. It's much larger now. But there wasn't really good acting classes to my knowledge anyway. So I went to the community college and started taking acting classes over there. And I learned how to act somewhat. But then when opportunity came knocking, I wasn't as prepared as I wish I had been. I ended up getting an agent in San Francisco, and opportunities kept coming and coming and coming, but I wasn't as competitive as I would have been if I had had super good formal training. I think my belief system didn't think really good training in anything was necessary. I was under the impression that you can teach yourself anything, which I still believe you can. But now I'm going to share with you the difference in when I did get formal training. And this was a surprise to me, and it changed everything for me. So now, if I'm going to do something, I am going to get the proper training and make the whole process not only more competitive, but more enjoyable. Just everything about it, I think, will be better when you're 100% prepared. I think your confidence skyrockets. I think the competition process skyrockets. Everything about it is better. And so I know I can't look back. I know we're not to look at the past. But I realize now, in all those things that I attempted to do would have been so much better. And I don't know how good I could have become in any of those things. Now we're going to fast forward to the difference in being trained for something. I had to have my thyroid removed, which consequently affected my vocal cords. And after surgery, I would be talking, and even to put together a sentence was just exhausting. So I thought, I can't continue like this. I can't get so tired in just simply talking. So I didn't quite know what to do about that. So I looked up voice production at the local college, and I took a class. Wasn't even quite sure what voice production was all about, but it seemed like it might be helpful. Anyway, the first day I got there, the teacher said that each of us are going to have to do 2 solo songs. That meant getting up in front of the entire class and singing. Now, mind you, singing is definitely not something I would consider to be my forte, or is it something I would opt to do? So when she said that, it was the biggest nightmare to me. I thought, oh my gosh, this nightmare come true. But if I didn't do it, then I couldn't remain in the class. So after she worked with us and taught us to resignate, etc., which I didn't even know was a thing, finally it was my turn to sing solo. And actually, it wasn't bad, I gotta admit. Now, singing is something that I would never have attempted in front of someone. It's just, we all kind of know what our strong points are. And I wouldn't say singing was ever one of mine. But through the proper training, I got up and did it. And so I thought, my gosh, if she could train me how to sing, I think you could be trained to do anything. And then the second thing that I was properly trained in, and these things came about mostly out of necessity. It's not something that I would have pursued. Certainly singing is not. And the second one I'm going to mention is rowing. I was sick. I was in the hospital. I had a blood infection. And when I got out, I was extremely weak. And my friend who lives in Southern California at the time was having a hard time. So I invited her to come and live with me just until she gets on her feet. So she did. And she shared with me that she had been dragon boat racing in Southern California. And I said, oh, that sounds so fun. I wish I could do it. And she said, well, you can. Anybody can. So we looked it up. And we didn't find dragon boat racing, but we did find rowing. So I talked to the coach, and she said anyone can do it. So I showed up for my first day. You didn't go on the water the first day you went on a rowing machine. And I could only last about 2 minutes on the rowing machine. I was just too exhausted. So as the days went on and I built up my strength, eventually they put me on the water. As they taught me how to paddle correctly, I'd go out with somebody else, and then it got to be where it was so fun. It was so beautiful. The sound of the water, the birds, the big tall egrets, the trees, the flowers. But with the proper training, I was able to do it. And in fact, I was named Athlete of the Month. And I thought, oh my gosh, I definitely never thought of myself as an athlete. So again, what I'm getting at, The difference between being properly trained and not trained is like night and day. And I did not realize that until these last two things came up. And they basically came up because I was forced to do them for medical reasons to strengthen myself. So what I'm saying is that with our goals, we all have goals in mind. And we want to be good. We want to be competitive. We want to be the best that we can be in the area that we've chosen to work toward. So regardless of what your goal is, whether it be cooking, baking, acting, accounting, regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter. To be your best at it, I believe training will make you more competitive, will give you that confidence. I know that in things that we choose to do, sometimes so many people are blessed with God-given talent, like singing, for example, or acting or something like that. But I think that proper training in that area, no matter how talented you are, would help guide you to stirring your talents in the right direction. Now, I know that classes, etc., can be costly, but part of having our whole structure and being our best selves is having our goals in place. And you can make that as part of your goal is to be trained to be the best at it, or at least really competitive, at least really confident, so you enjoy the process. Even if you have to work longer hours or do what you need to do to get the training you need, make that part of the goal pattern that you've put into place for yourself. So what I'm trying to get across to you today is through my own experiences, I realized we can be good at anything with the proper training, with the ambition, with the desire, with the goal, with the mindset. I believe we can be good at anything. So don't discard what you want to do. Look into it. Get the steps rolling. Get the whole process rolling. And I learned this firsthand through my own experience. The difference in being trained in the things that I really, especially singing, never thought I would do, to something as easy as riding a horse, where I should have enjoyed that process. The big picture is, though, that you can do anything and you can be good at anything. And that's what's so exciting about life. You put one foot in front of the other. And this is part of the process of having goals, is also getting the proper training for what you want to do. So you be your best, so you be competitive. But regardless of what it is, you can be trained in it. You can do it. You can be good at it. In the past, I know we talked about finding not only what your niche is, what you want to do, but also looking into it, looking online, looking wherever, and finding out what it's really about. And then getting the training is part of the whole process. And it's exciting. It's part of the steps you take right now to get your life in line to what you want to be, what you want to do. So this training can be such an exciting step. It's part of the whole package of getting in place, getting in order what you want to do, what you ultimately want your life to look like. With that, I wish you good luck. God bless you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.